Another day, another string bikini for Heidi Klum, who frolicked on Shell Beach located on the Caribbean Isle of St. Bartholomew Tuesday. The 52-year-old Emmy-winning host, who went topless on the beach earlier this week, flaunted her phenomenal 5 feet 9 inches figure in a golden two-piece while splashing along the shoreline. Klum's triangle top and Brazilian bottoms both featured scalloped hems, and she finished off her beach attire with large mirrored sunglasses. The FIFA World Cup presenter packed on the PDA with her third husband Tom Collitz, who at 36 is 16 years younger than her. The married couple of 7 years chatted with each other while wading in the Caribbean Sea. The German pair have been going strong ever since meeting on the set of Germany's Next Top Model in 2018. Collitz opted for baby blue swim trunks for their refreshing dip. At one point, Klum looked blissed out as she struck a starfish pose while floating at the surface. Klum arrived at the beach wearing a glamorous leopard print kaftan, which was just sheer enough to show off her slim shape. Tokyo Hotel guitarist isn't scheduled to perform with his band again until they kick off their 17-date European arena tour in October 2026. The retired Victoria's Secret angel welcomed 4 children: daughter Lenny, 21, with Flavio Briatore, son Henry, 20, son Johann, 19, and daughter Lou, 16, during her 7-year marriage to second ex-husband Seal, which ended in 2012. Klum will next executive produce and host season 21 of ANTM's spin-off Germany's Next Top Model, which premieres next February on ProSieben. Caribbean sun hung high above Shell Beach, casting a warm golden glow over the soft white sand and the gently rolling waves that lapped against the shore, creating a picture-perfect backdrop for yet another effortlessly glamorous moment in Heidi Klum's seemingly ageless life. There was no hint of urgency or performance in her movements, no sense that she was aware of cameras at all, as she laughed freely, splashed through the water, and leaned into the kind of unguarded joy that has become increasingly rare among celebrities of her stature. Every step she took along the shoreline felt unforced, as though this was not a supermodel and global television icon on display, but simply a woman savoring a quiet, sun-soaked escape with the person she loves most. The golden bikini caught the light with every movement, shimmering against her sun-kissed skin, a subtle reminder of the decades she spent commanding runways, magazine covers, and fashion campaigns around the world. Yet there was nothing calculated about the way she wore it. The scalloped edges of the fabric added a playful softness to the look, echoing the carefree energy of the afternoon, while the mirrored sunglasses reflected the endless blue of the sky and sea, hiding her eyes but not the unmistakable sense of contentment written across her face. This was not about proving anything. It was about presence, about ease, about being entirely comfortable in her own skin. Tom Collitz stayed close by her side, his body language relaxed, affectionate, and deeply familiar. Their conversation appeared light and intimate, punctuated by smiles and quiet laughter as they stood waist-deep in the Caribbean Sea. The age gap that once fueled headlines and skepticism now seemed irrelevant, overshadowed by the ease with which they moved together, as though they were perfectly matched in rhythm and spirit. His baby blue swim trunks contrasted softly with the deeper hues of the water, and he looked every bit at home beside her, unbothered by attention, grounded in the moment they were sharing. There was something strikingly genuine about the way they interacted, the kind of chemistry that cannot be staged or manufactured for cameras. It was evident in the way Tom leaned in slightly as she spoke, in the way Heidi reached for him without thinking, in the shared glances that suggested years of private jokes and mutual understanding. 7 years into marriage, their bond appeared not worn or routine, but quietly strengthened, shaped by time, experience, and a shared creative world that first brought them together. Their love story, which began unexpectedly on the set of Germany's Next Top Model in 2018, has long defied the neat narratives often imposed on celebrity relationships. At the time, Heidi was already an established icon, a woman who had lived several public lives before meeting Tom. He, meanwhile, was known internationally as the guitarist for Tokyo Hotel, a band that had once defined a generation of European pop rock fans. On paper, they seemed unlikely. In reality, they fit together with surprising ease, drawn together by humor, creativity, and an unmistakable spark that neither tried to deny. As the waves gently lifted her body, Heidi leaned back and spread her arms, floating effortlessly on the surface in a starfish pose, her face turned toward the sky. It was a moment of pure stillness amid the motion of the sea, her body buoyed by the water, her expression serene and unguarded. For a brief moment, it felt as though time itself had slowed, allowing her to simply exist, suspended between sky and ocean, far removed from schedules, productions, and expectations. Earlier, her arrival on the beach had been just as striking, though in a different way. The leopard print kaftan draped loosely over her frame, sheer enough to hint at the figure beneath without revealing too much, flowing behind her as she walked across the sand. It was glamorous without being ostentatious, bold yet relaxed, perfectly suited to someone who has spent a lifetime understanding how fashion can be both armor and expression. Even in a setting as casual as a beach, Heidi Klum's style remained unmistakably her own. For Tom, this quiet interlude came at a rare pause in an otherwise busy musical life. With Tokyo Hotel's next major commitment not scheduled until their 17-date European arena tour begins in October 2026, he had the luxury of time, a chance to step away from rehearsal rooms and tour buses and simply be present. The absence of immediate professional pressure seemed to suit him, allowing him to fully inhabit the role of husband, partner, and companion rather than performer. Heidi's life, too, continues to balance personal fulfillment with professional ambition. Though she officially retired from the Victoria's Secret runway years ago, her influence on fashion and entertainment remains profound. Her body, still strong and confident at 52, tells a story not just of genetics or discipline but of self-acceptance earned over decades in an industry that often discards women as they age. Each public appearance feels less like an attempt to hold on to youth and more like a celebration of vitality, experience, and confidence. Motherhood has been a defining chapter in that story. Her 4 children, now all in their teens and early 20s, represent different eras of her life, each shaped by love, change, and growth. Lenny, now 21, has stepped confidently into the modeling world herself, navigating the complexities of legacy and independence with remarkable poise. Henry, Johan, and Lou have grown largely out of the public eye, shielded as much as possible from the relentless scrutiny that once followed their parents' high-profile marriage. Her relationship with Seal, which lasted 7 years and ended in 2012, was once a symbol of fairy tale romance, complete with annual vow renewals and public declarations of devotion. Send marked a painful and very public transition, one that forced Heidi to redefine herself not just as a partner, but as a single mother and independent woman navigating the aftermath of a love that had once seemed unbreakable. That chapter, though difficult, laid the groundwork for the strength and clarity she now appears to embody. In contrast, her marriage to Tom feels quieter, less performative, grounded in mutual respect rather than spectacle. There are no grand public rituals, no need to convince the world of their happiness. Instead, there are moments like this one on Shell Beach, where affection is expressed through proximity, shared laughter, and an easy comfort that speaks louder than words. Professionally, Heidi shows no signs of slowing down. Her role as executive producer and host of Germany's Next Top Model remains central to her career, and the upcoming season 21 promises to further cement her influence on a new generation of aspiring models. The show has evolved alongside her, reflecting changes in the fashion industry and broader cultural conversations around diversity, body image, and representation. For Heidi, it is more than a television project. It is a platform she has shaped and protected, one that mirrors her own journey through fame, criticism, and reinvention.